our next pastors are from Hamilton Mills. So, hey, let's welcome Randy and Cheri Cochran to come on out.
Hello.
What's up,
Hey guys,
Hello.
how are
Hello.
you? Good to have you with us today.
It's really great to be with you.
Hey, so again, if y'all haven't been able to meet Randy and Cheri personally, they're the pastors who really stepped into our place, up there and have been killing it up at
they
Victory
have. Yes,
Hamilton
they have.
Mills. So, as we've asked everybody else so far, we want to ask you the same question. So, 2020 has been one for the books. We know
Yes.
that.
It
has been
Highs
that.
and lows, but it feels like a lot of lows.
Yeah.
So, as you kind of look back across the landscape of this year, what would you say is like, if you could boil it down to one thing, what is the one thing that God has taught you?
Yeah, as we were all saying, I mean, it has been a crazy year, but I think the one thing that God has really been speaking to us and teaching us is how to walk in peace in the midst of crazy.
That's good.
And it doesn't mean that the crazy goes away for us to walk in peace, but we've just seen so many things. I love change, but I've had my fill of change this year. There's been so many things that have come our way, and in just so many different ways. But it reminded me of the disciples when Jesus appeared to them in John chapter 14, and he says to them, "Hey, peace I give to you. My peace I give, not peace that the world gives." And then he says, "Let not your hearts be troubled, nor let them be afraid." And he didn't say that everything's going to go well, but what he's speaking to is there's two kinds of peace. There's peace that the world provides, which is fleeting, and then there's peace that he provides, which is sustaining for us. And no matter what's going on around us, that's internal inside of us because of his presence in us. And then he goes on to tell them, "Hey, I'm going to be with the Father." And then he says this cool little statement at the end. He says, "Let's get up and go from here." In other words, he's saying, let's continue to go forward. And so that's what we sense is in the midst of all the crazy, hey, God is still present. He is the Prince of Peace, which means he's the ruler of peace. It's not just something he gives us, it's who he is. He is peace. And so wherever he is, there's this sense of internal tranquility and well-being, if you will, which is that peace that sustains us in the midst of crazy. So that's one of the things that stuck with me.
He loves change. I like change that I initiate. I don't like change that just kind of comes at me all the time. So to be honest, partway through the year, I would say right around June, July, I was just exhausted. I know so many of us were, but just in we took a vacation and in getting away, I was just like, God, I don't know how to keep doing this. I'm so worn out. And what came to mind was just, it felt like I just kept reacting to all the chaos that kept coming. I was just kind of like a fire come, put out the fire, a fire come, put out the fire. And I was going, okay, let's face it, 2020 is not going to get easier quickly because this is mid-year. So this is going to keep coming this way. I've got to do something different. And that's where the Lord just really reminded me of the verse in Isaiah 26:3. You will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. And so what the Lord just reminded me of was it was important that I not be in reaction mode, which is so easy to do right now. And I'm sure many of you were in the same. There's so much come our way. But instead, I wanted to bring a peaceful me into the chaos instead of reacting to the chaos. And so what I love about this verse, though, is that it's saying who is the one keeping us in peace. It's not us. It's not our willpower. It's not, gosh, I'm just going to think about the Lord more. Instead, it's saying if my mind and my heart is fixed on the Lord, it says he will keep me in perfect peace. You keep in perfect peace he whose mind is fixed on you. So to be able to then release that. And then whenever I am feeling chaotic again, because I know we still, here we go. Okay. Then instead to come back, okay, Lord, it's your peace that you give me, which is really his person. Help me to reconnect to your person, that you and I together go into this situation instead of just reacting to what's coming my way. So it was an important reminder and the best practice of my life to put it in play to actually live from peace of the presence of God rather than just reacting to everything coming my way.
Yeah, it's that being centered on him is what I hear you saying. And, and that fix your eyes on Jesus. I mean, just reminding me is when those situations come, I love what you said, Cheri. It's not about reacting. It's about like, how can I come back center and focus my eyes back on the one who is that perfect peace.
And invite him into what's happening.
Absolutely.
Instead of trying to will, okay, yeah, God's with me. actually invite him into it so that he's walking with me and I'm leaning on the peace that is a person.
Yeah, the relationship aspect.
I think that's so good, because I found out lots of times when it comes to peace, we claim promises, because the peace promises are if-then statements.
Yeah.
And we just kind of claim peace.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like an active peace.
Yeah.
Because even that scripture, it's you're going to give perfect peace whoever trusts in you,
Right.
whose mind is stayed.
Right.
So it's a requirement for us saying, hey, if we set our mind on God in the midst of the storm, then He will give us the peace. It's that thing I've heard lots of people do that, like, you're going to give me the peace that passes all understanding. But it says it's going to guard our hearts if we cast our cares on Him.
Right.
If
Exactly.
there's if-then statements for peace.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
really it's a where's the source of peace?
Right.
It's like what he was saying in John. It's not the world. It's not the stuff that we're trying to look to for peace, but it is Him, the person. He is our peace. He is our rock.
Dependency.
Yeah.
It's not even just like, here, have some. It's this connection that creates a dependency where I'm leaning on the peace that He is instead of just like, hey, can I have some of that? It's like, no, I'm connected to who you are. And so for me, I really did have to work hard in the middle of the summer to kind of go, okay, all right, I want to show up differently for the rest of this year because this isn't going away right now.
Right.
And even as we look to 2021, there's things that are going to continue. I don't want to live in reaction mode. It's exhausting. I want to be someone that's showing up with dependency upon the person of Jesus who is peace.
Yes.
So good. That's so good.
Stay connected to Jesus and you'll have peace.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so good.
That's right.
That's so good.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much
That's
for being
awesome.
here with us.
If 2020 has
Love
taught
you
us
guys.
anything,
That's right. That's
it's
right.
that if you stay connected to Christ,
Yes.
even if the world's pretty stormy, you can
Right.
still have peace.
That's
Yes.
right.
Amen.
That's
That's
really
right.
encouraging, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank
Y'all
Thank
are
you
awesome.
guys.